Nearly 1 in 8 people worldwide suffers a significant mental health condition, and depression alone affects an estimated 280 million souls globally. In a crowd of 8 people, one carries this silent burden. You might recognize it: the heavy cloud of hopelessness, the emptiness during the once loved activities. It is a crisis so widespread, it feels anonymous and crushing. How did so many end up here? And why do our usual solutions only seem to bandage symptoms instead of healing? In this video, we will dive deep into an ancient way of life, Sanatan Dharma, and discover how its timeless wisdom and practices can help lift us out of this darkness. Stay with me, because by the end, you may feel a quiet inner shift, a path towards meaning and hope. Every day, millions more join the 280 million battling depression worldwide. Depression isn't just feeling sad, it's a near constant storm inside. Symptoms often include persistent sadness, emptiness or irritability even over small tasks, loss of interest in hobbies or work, feeling detached from friends and family, difficulty concentrating, changes in appetite or sleep, and overwhelming fatigue. Intense feeling of guilt or worthlessness that spirals into hopelessness. For many, these symptoms feel like daily life. Parents, students, retirees, no one is immune. In young people, it may show as social withdrawal or self-harm. In adults, as anxiety and insomnia. Tragically, depression can even lead to thoughts of suicide, the second leading cause of death among youth globally. And while we know treatments exist, they often miss the mark. Therapies and medications can help, but often the relief is partial or temporary. In fact, WHO notes that in poorer countries, 75% of people with depression receive no treatment at all. And even where care is available, many stop medications due to side effects. We patch the heart without feeding the soul, so the emptiness returns. We need to ask, why do so many modern approaches fall short? Perhaps because they focus on surface, the symptoms, and not the deeper sense of purpose that humans crave. In an age of screens and schedules, something fundamental has been lost. Sanatan Dharma, often called the eternal way, suggests that disconnect, a loss of inner guidance and cosmic connection, lies at the root of this despair. Before we explore its answer, let's remember, you're not alone, and there is more to healing than we are often thought. Sanatan Dharma is not just a religion, but a vast spiritual science stretching back thousands of years. At its core is the idea that everything is interconnected. Our minds, the world, and a deeper reality often called Brahman. In this view, each person carries a divine spark, Atman, that is part of a greater whole. This shift in perspective can be healing, realizing you are a part of something vast and loving, not an isolated problem. Sanatan offers knowledge of our true nature and practices to study the mind. It teaches that much of our suffering comes from forgetting who we really are. Too much in the head and not enough in the heart. Ancient texts like Vedas and Upanishads describe the law of karma and dharma, timeless principles that we understood puts life struggle into context. Think of it as a spiritual map, or for example, feeling like you don't belong might be a cue to remember our interconnected nature. An identity crisis often eases when you see yourself an integral part of a grander story. Importantly, Sanatan Dharma emphasizes growth of consciousness rather than suppressing pain. It asks, what is this experience teaching me? The famous Bhagavad Gita, a key text, reminds us that the mind can be our best ally or our worst enemy. As Krishna says, lift yourself by yourself, do not let yourself lower yourself. Your own self is your friend, your own self is your enemy. In other words, the power to heal and rise lies within us, guided by higher wisdom. Through stories, meditation techniques, and philosophy, Sanatan offers tools for emotional suffering that modern life often ignores. It recognizes the mind is restless and teaches ways to quiet it, from yoga and breathwork to chanting mantras and selfless service. In the next section, we will see specific practices and ideas, all drawn from this ancient, ever relevant framework that can guide anyone, of any background toward inner peace. Sanatan comes alive through practices you can use daily. Many of these have been validated by modern psychology and neuroscience. Here are some key approaches. Meditation and yoga. Centuries of practitioners know what research confirms. Stilling the body and mind helps reset the nervous system. Mindfulness meditation. Simply paying calm attention to breath or a mantra has shown significantly to reduce depression symptoms. Even a few minutes a day can interrupt negative thought spiral. Yoga postures and breathing techniques calm anxiety, improve mood, and release physical tension. Mantras and prayer. Chanting sacred syllable like Om or verses shift brain waves toward relaxation. These sounds engage the parasympathetic system, reducing stress hormones. Whether or not you believe in a deity, repeating a positive phrase trains the brain to focus on healing. Science calls this a form of cognitive reframing, but in Sanatan Dharma, it is pure technology for the mind. Mindful living. Simple acts, drinking tea, walking in nature, listening deeply, become meditations themselves. The Gita advises us to live in a present moment, not in endless mental commentary. Psychology agrees, practicing mindful awareness, focused on now, cuts anxiety and depression. Gratitude is a powerful mindful practice. Research finds that even one act of noticing something you are thankful for can boost happiness by 10% and slash depression feeling by 35%. Try starting to ending each day by silently thanking something small. The sunlight, a loved one's smile. Over time, this restrained the mind to see light in darkness. Compassion and service, seva. Sanatan Dharma teaches that helping others is healing for yourself. When you offer kindness, your brain releases dopamine and oxytocin, the feel-good hormones, naturally reducing stress. Studies back this up. Volunteers consistently report lower rates of depression and anxiety than those who don't engage in service. In India, the concept of seva is a core practice. It reminds us we are part of a larger family. Giving someone a cup of water, a smile, or an encouraging words connect us and eases our own pain. Gratitude and compassion practices. Beyond service, deliberately cultivating love changes the brain. Compassion meditations, silently wishing others well, expand empathy and joy. Sanatan text urges us to feel karuna, compassion for all beings. Modern science also finds that gratitude journaling or writing thank you notes improves mood and resilience. These practices shine tiny light in the soul's darkness, helping build an inner ecosystem of positivity. These Sanatan based methods harmonize beautifully with modern psychological findings. In essence, we are teaching our brains new patterns, neural paths of peace instead of despair. Over time, patience and consistency with these tools can literally rewire stress response, bringing lasting emotional balance. One of the deepest gifts Sanatan offers is a clear sense of purpose, Swadharma. Depression often thrives on meaninglessness. When life feels like a random series of events, our hearts suffer. But Sanatan philosophy tells us each soul has a unique role. Dharma literally means that which upholds. It refers to living in alignment with our true nature and duty. In practice, following your dharma means doing what feels inherently meaningful to you, whether it's being a parent, a healer, an artist, a teacher, or any honest work. Gita famously teaches that performing one's own duty, even imperfectly, is better than flawlessly copying others' path. By embracing your path, you create inner stability. This doesn't mean a rigid destiny, but a guiding North Star. For example, a compassionate person finds purpose in caring, an inquisitive mind in constant learning or teaching. Discovering and acting on that inner call can transform depression into dedication. Living your dharma is inherently fulfilling and helps quiet anxiety. The Bhagavad Gita reminds us not to be attached to outcomes, just to do what's right in each moment. When we let go of fear and obsession over what if and simply work in service to life, our mind relaxes. As one Gita verse says, lift yourself by yourself and do not let yourself be degraded. Isn't an order from above, it's an empowerment. Even if divine help is available, we are each responsible taking that step of faith. Service, seva, is part of this purpose journey. When your goal shifts from purely personal success to benefiting others, depressions grip loosens. Helping others connect you to community and to do something larger than your own worries. In fact, research suggests that people with a sense of purpose live longer and happier lives. Finding meaning also means seeking wisdom. The Sanatan tradition invites us to study uplifting teachings. Reading passages from the Gita or listening to a spiritual story can remind us who we are beyond the pain. Recognizing this bigger picture dissolves some of the why me of suffering. Let's recap the journey. We acknowledge the modern crisis of depression, how isolation, untreated minds, and meaninglessness keep so many in despair. We introduce Sanatan Dharma as an ancient framework that emphasizes self-knowledge, connection, and spiritual growth. We explored concrete tools, meditation, yoga, gratitude, compassion that can slow down anxiety and flood the brain with positivity. We learned that purpose, dharma, anchors us and that selfless service to others can lift our own spirits. You don't have to adopt a whole new identity to start. Begin where you are, take 3 conscious breaths before sleep tonight. Write one thing you are grateful for in the morning or smile kindly to a stranger. Each small step is a seed of healing. As the Gita says, we hold the power to uplift ourselves. Think of it as a muscle. Each mindful act strengthens your inner light a little more. Remember, you're not alone in this fight. Countless people around the world seek comfort in these time-tested practices. If you feel called, consider reading the Bhagavad Gita or any other spiritual text. Joining a meditation group or volunteering for a cause you care about can also surround you with support. Even a short daily chant or a walk in the park can be a profound anchor. Depression can feel insurmountable, but its grip can loosen. With gentle persistence, you can discover joy and stability. The words of Gita echo here. Rise, awake. Let today be the sunrise of a new chapter.